Dan, you're flapping your jowls. What?
This music is pop, baby!
What?
Tavern Talk. Oh.
What? Oh, yeah. Hey, what's up, my friend?
Tavern Talk. Walk the walk. I'm well. How are you, Ryan?
Draw and chalk.
Draw and chalk.
Reading Faulkner.
Throwing frisbee to a dog in a park.
How are you, my friend? So this is unprecedented. I had a technical snafu, so I'm actually doing the show on my phone. I hope this
in
is
prison.
Not
It's weird, but I kind of like the dynamic, Ryan.
I am imprisoned in a way.
Yep. There you go.
I have such a narrow little screen. It's like, it's like such a. Anyways, hey guys.
Well, hey, look, I can reach all the way over here.
Oh, F you.
All the way over here. I can't even get it. Ugh.
I can barely get my head in the screen right now. All right.
Hey, Ryan, the show must go on, buddy. And I am proud of you for looking perseverance and adversity, mixing them up into a blender and drinking it like a protein shake.
Take your medicine. That's what I say. Baby. The show must go on.
You did it, baby. I'm proud of you. So hey, let's. We got a goddamn packed show today, guys.
Unbelievable. Let's open the tavern door real quick. Open the tavern door, my friend.
Let's do it. Jesus, that ominous door. Oh, God.
It's like, it's not fun at all. I can't get enough of that door.
We don't have WD-40 in the Two Rivers. We deal with our squeaks, and we like it.
It builds character.
We know if someone walks in. How do you know if someone walks in if your door doesn't squeak like a horrible...
If you don't have tinnitus, you haven't gone to the tavern enough.
You have not, yes. And that door slams right behind you. Someone has lost a finger before when the door slammed and they were still lingering. So you need to squeeze on in there because the door goes kablam.
But it's just the slowest moving door. Like, that's an Indiana Jones style door. It's like, oh no!
That's exactly how the guy lost a finger. He reached back to grab his hat. He dove into the door and he's all, my hat! And he went to get it and he lost a finger.
That's amazing. Let's bring in our guest, shall we?
Yeah, the screen is too empty. I want lots of people in here. Let's bring them in.
Hey, everybody.
Good morning.
I lost my sound.
Who's that?
Is that our favorite horse already? Oh, I mean, are we getting a Bella right off the bat?
Holy crap, Ollie.
Now those pits.
Bella!
Yeah.
Nice. Guys, thanks for joining us here. Ryan, go ahead and introduce everyone, would you please?
Below me, we have definitely not Noden with two N's, unlike the... All right, good morning to you.
Good morning. Definitely not Odin is a time traveler. He is in Tomorrowland. So
I'm a face-changing space wizard from the future.
I love that. Oh, you're a face-changing wizard.
Yeah,
Gross.
didn't you see the horse?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Very cool.
And to my immediate left is Christini. How are you doing, Christini?
Hi.
Welcome.
Great. How are you?
I'm super excited to have you on our show.
Indeed. Thank you for coming. Below Christini, Ryan?
Below Christini is our favorite trivia master, Dee Tee, from the What Trivia Discord server and Twitter, which is just constantly bringing us so much fun. Dee Tee, everybody quietly applauding at home. And to Dee Tee's left, we have Leigh-a. Welcome,
hey, everybody.
Leigh-a.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Favorite roof mistress.
Brother Dan, there are exactly 3 new people to the show. Do you have 3 songs for them?
Yep.
Yes, you do.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Chick Corea died and passed his spirit on to you. You're going to have to improvise some jazz. Are you going jazzy?
Okay, let me see. I have no idea, to be honest.
All right, I'm going mobile.
Hold on. I have a case. All right, talk amongst yourselves. Go ahead.
Oh, well, brother Dan is lying down as he always has to get through his songs. I originally thought he had a thing for Kurt Cobain, but it turns out he has some sort of spinal bifida. It's not bifida, it's bifida. It's really unfortunate. Are you ready, brother Dan?
My spinal bifida generally gets in the way, but yes, I'm ready, Ryan.
Let's go. Bring it.
All right, so we're just busting out medley. This is one song, three people. Ready? All right. There's lyrics. Okay. All right. I truly pray that you'll want to stay. Here's our roof mistress. It's Leigh-a. This song is super teeny weeny. This song is about a girl's not a meanie. It's our BFF. Her name is Christini. I got a chub in my wee wee.
Oh, what?
Because we have a fellow game-loving friend here, you see. And
Nice.
He makes me glad to see it's our friend. Oh, fuck. Dee Tee. And Odin too. There we go. Worst song ever.
And Noden too?
Yep.
Which, I mean, if anyone is familiar with Noden's work, he is all about brevity.
Guys,
I think that's
apologize.
appropriate, Brother Dan.
Having so many songs I felt was daunting, and I got into denial and did not work as I normally do. And I owe you better, and I will do better. And I've learned a lot this last minute. I'm sorry, guys.
Dude, we just saw Dan's humility level go up a 1.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I need to work on things. So you're right. All right, sorry about that. Hey guys, we also have a part for when we have new best friends on. We like to get to know them, so we do a quick 5 questions.
5.
Okay. All right.
5. Yep.
So we are going to, I'm just going to kind of go in a circle here, and we're going to start with a different person each time. These are moderately Wheel of Time based. They're easy. All right. Are you guys ready?
Born ready, Dan.
I
Born
will
ready.
go below me first. Leigh-a, have you ever seen a proper palace?
Oh, yes, several.
Oh, okay. We'll get back to that.
Sorry,
Odin,
Sarah.
definitely not Odin. Have you ever seen a proper palace?
No.
Okay. How about you,
sad, man.
DT?
We have a castle in Toronto that's not really a proper palace, and that's the closest I have. So I'm going to say no. No.
Okay. How about you, Christine?
Yes.
Okay. Where have you guys seen? Where have you guys seen palaces?
In
Yeah. Oh,
the
go
UK.
ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So been to Buckingham Palace. I've been to the palace in Edinburgh. I guess you could count the Vatican as a palace. And then there's a couple of Versailles, a couple of palaces in Germany. So, just a few, not too many.
Less than 10. More than 10. I think more than 10.
Yeah, that's more than 10.
I think I heard more than 10. Yeah.
That's a good handful of palaces. Christine, you were saying the UK?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Mario
Second
Kart. is
question.
awesome.
We will start with you. Definitely not Odin.
Uh-oh.
Have you ever eaten
Whoa,
anything
whoa,
that
whoa.
you would consider a honey cake?
Ooh.
Mhm.
Don't-
And don't name any names.
I don't think I have. Not anything that comes to mind. Sorry.
That's okay. No, there is no sorries. There's either yes or no. It's okay. I'm not judging you, Odin.
Don't judge me. I like it.
I'm gonna say, like,
Did you hear what definitely not Odin just said? What a weird answer, right?
well, I think it was okay. Sure. I'm
I'm judging you in front of your face. All right, DT.
I
have
think
you
of that
ever
as
eaten
like
a honey cake?
like a honey glazed donut. Would that be a honey cake? Because we have Tim Hortons here, so
No,
that's the closest I
no.
can say. And yeah, no,
A Timbit is not.
no, that's not
It's
Mr.
not a honey
Salvier's Timbit. She'd make a killer Timbit though.
Okay, well, let's
Should open
say
a
no.
stand.
Christine, have you ever eaten a honey cake?
Does a honey bun count?
Honey bun's probably closer than a Tim's donut, right?
Yeah, oh sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
Was
sir.
it like in a wrapper?
Yeah.
You don't smell them cooking in the kitchen. I'm going to say, nope. You haven't had a true honey cake. How about you, Leigh-a?
So I've had
wait.
these little like bread doughy things that were covered all in honey. Would that be considered a honey cake?
Well, it wasn't wrapped.
Very
That's a
sticky.
plus.
It was
Yeah.
homemade?
Homemade, yeah.
I'm going to give it to you. Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
Woo.
All right.
I'm just wondering if you could conceivably consider a donut to be a cake.
No.
Oh shit! I wonder what the chat
Yeah, let's hear
Said
the
about
thumbs
that.
up, thumbs down in the
is.
chat.
Thumbs up for yes,
Is
thumbs
it
down for
donut
no.
a cake? Come on.
Yes, I say yes. Yes.
Just for
In
me,
fact, I
no.
think I
But
got.
But not a Tim Hortons one.
Not
I
allowed.
just got donuts that were
Wait,
chocolate covered cake donuts.
Wait, I've had some. Yeah, I've had some cakey donuts, but I've not had any donutty cakes. Let's just say that.
That's
Good
a good
point,
way
yeah.
to put it. Yeah.
Okay.
These
All
are
right.
solid points. Let's watch my dog go
Okay,
to the bathroom.
so-
Hey, what's up with-
Next question. Dee Tee, are you ready, my man?
You bet I am.
Have you ever seen a real thatched roof?
Real as in it was a roof, yeah. Yeah, I have, like in Dominican.
Okay.
I wouldn't it's a touristy fake hut, but it was real roof. Yeah.
It was like a lava or something.
Yeah, something
ocean-
like that. Actually, no, some of the other roofs were thatched. The one over the big buffet. So yeah, thatched roofs down in Caribbean. Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Palm
Christine,
thatch.
have you ever seen an authentic real thatched roof?
I think so. In like Northern England, I'm pretty sure they were authentic. They looked thatchy to me.
Yeah.
It's my
Thatchy.
untrained eye. They look thatchy.
Leigh-a, and all your travels around all of Europe.
Not just Europe.
Visiting
Yeah,
all
I
the
agree with
palaces.
DT. Caribbean has thatched roofs. Like for realsies, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
They got thatched umbrellas for crying out loud.
Yep.
That is
It's-
true.
And definitely not Odin. Have you ever seen a true thatched roof?
I live under a thatched roof. No.
Yes.
I mean, probably
That's
at
great.
some point. I can't.
Okay.
Like, probably in some dinkier part of the country.
We've got a maybe.
Yeah.
We got a maybe in there.
We got to.
It's a Very likely, maybe.
If you did see it, it evidently was not memorable.
It's a thatched roof. What's there to remember?
You know,
I know what they look like. It's all I care about.
storks, man. All right, Christine. Next question. Are you ready, my dear? Do you have any circus skills? And my definition of circus skills is very open and liberal.
Probably.
Juggling, Rubik's Cube, doing math real fast, Sudoku, being able to guess people's weight. I don't know, something. What do you got? I know that you are a fabulous, fabulous singer.
So Christine definitely can be like a fortune teller with zodiac signs.
Okay.
She's very talented with zodiac signs.
Am I?
Yes, you
Really?
are.
Thank you. I didn't realize that I
Whoa.
was. I mostly know about Libras because I am one. But yeah, that's about it.
Well, she didn't realize that until she pulled the card and she got the Jack of Knives and the King of Dancers. So, you know, that's
There you go.
obvious.
I'm all ready. I didn't even know.
So
Thank you.
obvious with the King of Dancers. Leigh-a, do you have anything you would consider a circus skill?
Doing flips off a diving board, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
I can also do cartwheels.
Okay, yes, cartwheels works for me. I
Okay.
cannot do a cartwheel.
Short arms.
No, I actually my legs are too long. I always look like I'm a U that's kind of moving sideways instead of. Anyways, definitely not Odin. Do you have anything you would call a circus skill?
Well, I can do a pretty darn neat impression of everyone's favorite shriveled boy, Golem.
Oh,
Sure.
I don't
Sure.
believe you.
Boy.
Oh, you don't believe me?
I don't believe you.
Doesn't believe us,
We
precious.
need a full screen.
Okay, that's you. Okay, you
You don't have any
offered.
friends. Nobody likes you. Nobody likes me.
Oh my gosh, we need the horse head to be Gollum voice
That
pretty
is
soon.
All right.
African thou shalt
All right. I have a request. I want Golem ordering some Starbucks coffees.
Yeah, for all of us, all 5 of us.
Yeah,
Yeah, So,
I want a half
we don't
decaf.
actually have Starbucks here, so like this is
Oh.
going to be
Okay.
somewhat of a shit show, but I'm down for it.
Wait a minute, there's a place without Starbucks? What is that place called?
I like this magical land.
I'm
I
just
want to go
kidding.
there.
But we
Are
have
you
something.
Narnia? I
We
don't
have
know,
something
got
better.
centaurs.
Like we do actually have something better than Starbucks down here. It's called a coffee shop. It's wild.
All right, so yeah. Order me the most pretentious drink you can. I only drink pretentious drinks. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Fuck, my brain's not wired for pretentious, man.
Okay, then just subliminal.
Yeah. So, Golem at a coffee shop. Go.
Hi, sir. Can I help you?
We want a pumpkin spice latte.
Okay.
Precious, the strawberry great.
Okay. Did you want a large?
We just want some iced coffee.
We can add almond milk. Is that what you're asking, sir?
No. Almond milk is for pussies.
You
But
are
we like almond milk, precious. We're lactose intolerant.
I've never really felt as bad for Gollum as I do right now.
Yeah.
We're lactose intolerant. We're lactose intolerant is the greatest thing I've ever heard.
And like they spelled the name on the coffee cup GOLEM.
Yeah.
All right, so Golem, you just got your the coffee cup and your name is spelled wrong. Go.
I just said it.
Yeah.
Oh, you meant? Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Act out your reactions.
Galem,
What
your
is
drink.
special?
Jellum.
Jellum?
Your drinks are ready.
Do you mean Gollum?
Okay, yeah. Did you get the pumpkin spice latte?
No, we wanted the...
Okay, yeah, that's yours.
We wanted the almond milk.
Have a good day,
Iced
mate.
coffee.
Oh my god.
All right, well done. That was
Brother
Circus
Dan.
skill. Best
I
circus
would-
skill.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
There's
Brother
no
Dan,
way I
I
can
feel like
follow that up.
we were being cruel to Noda. The only way he can do that is by gripping his testicles really tightly.
Yes,
And
I
you
can
just
only
made
be
him
bullied
go
into
on
doing
and
things.
on. He was struggling. All right.
Not very good at
DT.
improv.
Dee
You're
Tee, my man.
great.
Do you
That
have
was
anything that
amazing.
you would consider a circus skill?
Juggling. I could juggle,
Okay.
and I used to be pretty good with a yo-yo. Does that count?
Yes.
All right. Well,
Yes.
can you
Well,
juggle
okay. Well,
on camera?
Not right now. I have nothing to juggle, and you have no idea the closet I'm actually in. So there's no way I can find a juggling balls kicking around. So
All right.
no. We'll do
Just
that
grab
at
some
Jordan Con.
knives.
Jordan Con. Yeah. Oh, I might have some knives.
Yeah,
So-
grab some knives. Let's go.
So when you got into
Lick the
yo-yo,
bottle.
were you studying studiously to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did study very studiously.
So, what was your favorite trick? I never
With a
got
yo-yo?
into yo-yo. Was fucked up to me. Like the string would get all like a knot in the middle and stuff. Like I
all the
never did
time.
well.
All the time.
Yeah.
I don't remember my, I guess, favorite trick. You know, the kids all like the one where you put it in a triangle and you swings between. I don't remember any of the names, but
Never
I used to
pulled that
work
one
at a
off.
store that sold
That-
games and shit, right? So
Easing the badger.
yeah, that's what we'll call it anyway. Or entering the tower, perhaps. That would be good too. A little triangled tower.
Ooh.
that
Oh,
was
you worked at a game that like a board game?
Yeah, we
place?
sold board games, pool tables, pool cues, all that, darts and stuff. And then there was like a huge yo-yo craze that hit while I was working there, where every kid needed the fancy yo-yo with the fucking gears and shit, right? So I was selling them then. So my job was to play with yo-yos for like 8 hours a day.
Wow.
Awesome.
So
It was
were you
fun.
working? Were you working there when those fire sticks came out?
No, they were there. They existed, but that was
Okay.
There was no fire sticks craze, and I couldn't. They're not good in the store either. You got little low ceilings, so you can't.
Yeah.
Whip and
Did you,
shit around.
did you ever stop a robbery with your yo-yo?
Twice, 2 robberies with. No, I got robbed 4 yo-yos. They're like, so I didn't use the others. Couple people, lots of yo-yos stolen during that craze. It was a good time. Good time.
Wow.
So-
Wow. What did you live in Gotham City? Jeez.
Yes, the mall. That was in the mall.
Yeah.
It's close.
Crew, we gotta be rough on crime. Okay. I think so. I have one final question, and we will do this one all together now, if you want. You guys are all right. Close your eyes, if you will, and imagine you walk into a tavern, and you see 3 very drunk people at separate tables that you can spend an hour talking about anything with, and they will they'll spill their guts. One is Lan, one is Tamalthor, and one is Asmodean. You have 1 hour. You cannot sit at separate tables. You can only sit there, but he'll answer anything you want. Where do you sit? And you guys, as it comes in, go ahead and jump on in.
Yeah, I'm gonna say my initial thought was Tam. That'd be awesome, but man, it'd be really neat to just listen to everything Asmodean did. It'd be like sitting down with Motley Crue, just an open book, murderous Motley Crue. But I think that'd be a riot. I'm going Asmodean.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
one
like
time we
everything-
snorted ants. It was great.
It was like everything Motley Crue and then add murder at the end.
Yeah.
Girls and dads.
Only at the end.
Beautiful.
Guys, what say you, Leigh-a?
I would definitely go with Tam. I think Lan would be way too serious, and I think Asmodean would be a little bit mopey. I do think I actually had the inverse of what Dee Tee had. My initial reaction was, it would be interesting to hear about all the Age of Legends stuff from Asmodean, but he would just probably end up being a whiny little bitch about things.
That's true.
And you might not, he'd complain more about himself than tell stories. So I think Tam would just have great war stories and traveling, and he'd make it really fun. He would know not to include the serious stuff, and unless you wanted to talk about the serious stuff. So have a good old war vets chat. But spoiler alert.
So not a thought for Lan. Lan can just go kick sand over there.
I think Lan would be awesome to talk to, but in the tavern setting and you only have 1 hour, he'd be lame. I honestly just don't think he'd talk to you. He'd be like, "Who are you? I have no reason to talk to you."
Well, no.
I thought it was that I could
stipulation is
just
that
make
they
them
are-
say anything.
The stipulation is
open
they are feeling it, and they are just
Even
wanting to chat.
with Lan feeling it, he's just not going to talk.
I hear you.
He's
Yeah,
just going to
Lan-
glare at you and call you a sheep herder.
He's just gonna tell you about
I know,
duty
but-
all night. Duty.
But he says so much with his eyes.
Oh, I could look into those eyes all day, but that's not the point of the question.
Do you want to know what warders feel when a Aes Sedai has sex?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
All right,
Although I don't think Marines had sex.
well,
Yeah,
okay,
that's-
good point.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a good 20 years between New Spring and Eye of the World, so you never know.
I just don't
It's
think
a penis, right?
that was an actual footage of Moraine. Yeah.
Yeah, she's confused. It's been a while.
Christine, who would you sit and interrogate in their drunken state?
Initially I was going to say Tam, but I feel like he's going to get plenty of attention. So I'd probably go with Lan because Asmodean would have a lot of interesting things to say, but he would probably lie. All the time sifting through what's real and what isn't real, and it would just be frustrating. But Lan, I think if he's in the mind to spill his guts, I want to know what goes on in that brain of his.
Yeah, why'd he leave when he was a little lad? What triggered him and stuff? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Right on.
Right.
And Odin. I mean, definitely not Odin. Sorry.
No, not Odin.
Yes,
Definitely
I hear that
not
Odin guy. He's pretty cool, huh?
Noted.
Noted. Duly noted.
Who would you
Yes.
hang out
So,
with?
yeah, I've had time to think about this, but still can't come up with an answer. Probably Asmodean, because I want to see how badly I can annoy him.
Nice.
I don't know.
Oh, you want to
I feel like oh fuck yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Beautiful.
Somebody has a message for us, so say it.
Oh.
Bloody flaming goat's milk.
Bloody flaming milk's goat.
Time curses. So.
That's quality education.
Well done.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Oh my god. We need a weekly segment where this kid comes on and says that.
It just says
And
random curse words.
I realized I
okay.
said I just realized I said a very naughty word in front of a child.
It happens all the time. So
Probably near.
Yeah, but it's like a stranger saying it, so that's it's one thing when a parent does it, but it's when it
it was hysterical. He
No.
was combining cuss words that I would have never thought to put together. The minds of children are just amazing.
So noted. I'm sorry that we hurt your babysitting career.
Yeah. That one little 2-second snippet is going to haunt you, buddy.
Yes, it's a controversy. Twitter's gonna cancel me because I said the F word.
Clearly. All right, so guys, it's been 30 minutes. We haven't even talked about the books. How amazing are we?
We're meeting our friends. We got a bunch of friends. We're meeting our friends.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
This is fun. These chapters are pretty cool. I like the dichotomy of when you have even just the book called The Great Hunt, and you assume it's the hunt for the horn that is going on in Alien, and it is the hunt for the horn, but it is not the hunt that everyone is thinking. It's the
hunt for Mike.
Go on.
Yep. Mike.
It's the hunt for,
okay.
Yeah.
Who's Mike?
It's the hunt for Mike.
God, I missed. What chapters are we on? Did I miss?
Don't you remember Mike?
Fuck! All right. I'm going through the compendium right now.
I almost had him.
Gideon.
Mike.
I'm for Steve. What are you looking at, Brian?
No Mike. Sorry, I found a Nope, no Mike.
No Mike.
Hunt for Mike. It's like so. Anyways, that threw me off.
So I guess, but
thank you, Hunter.
I guess one of the things that we should talk about in a spoiler-filled way, if we can, go ahead and jump ahead all you want. This is a spoiler show. Is this whole blink scene?
Yes.
So Rand enters the house. The flies multiply massively in his vision. They're crawling in his face, they're crawling in his nose and his eyeballs. Gross. Let's talk about this, I guess. What exactly happened here?
So I think there was never any confirmation about what exactly happened. Everybody gets tied up in the flicker scenes and what happens there, and they don't really focus on this. So I think there's community agreement that there's 3 possible options. One is Lanfear set a trap. One is Fane set a trap. And then the third is that it's a bubble of evil. So I definitely ascribe to the bubble of evil concept. One, for Lanfear, it's not really her mojo to do something like this. She's much more subtle and doing something like the portal stones, where she's trying to get Rand to channel and become the leader that she wants him to be and the man that she wants him to be. So it's not really her style.
Hubba hubba.
I know, right? So I love me some Lanfear. For Fane, Fane does eventually. So Fane is just starting his merging with Mordeth. It's only been a couple months at this point. So he does eventually manifest some powers where he's able to create either in Faldara, he's able. Sorry, not Faldara. Farmadding, he's able to create some illusions of dead Ashaman. But he's right there in the room with them when he's doing it. And even in A Memory of Light, when he's actually animating dead bodies to do his bidding, he's still physically there and physically attached to them like Mashadar is. Also, he's at least 12, if not 24 hours ahead of them. So just knowing that the room that Rand would go into, it seems unfeasible that he would have been able to predict that. Fane does have a bead on where Rand is. Rand doesn't have it conversely. So it's not like Rand would be drawn to trap that Fane. So in my mind, it just seems a little far-fetched. So it gets back.
Yeah, he does just go into the random house, the closest house there. He just walked through the door. And Matt picked a different house, and he's like, yep, nothing there.
Yeah,
and
everybody's searching. So the fact that it would be triggered, something that would trigger just Rand, it's a long stretch. It's possible, but it's
kind of go with like his Tavern would pull those bubbles to him more than anyone else either. So it's kind of more likely it would hit him first.
Yeah, and he did have that bubble of evil at the beginning of the book. I know you guys talked about.
You're talking about the wind, right?
Yeah, the wind
hit him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the wind.
I've also heard that. Yeah, I heard that speculated on too, that was the actual moment where the Forsaken are released. There's another kind of fan theory when that wind hits them and it causes that bubble. Two different ways to think of that one, but I don't know which is right. I like the bubble idea for the flies though. I 100% agree with Leigh on that.
Yeah,
you think notably not noted?
Yeah, well, usually like throughout the rest of the series that I can think of, the bubbles of evil tend to be actively trying to kill people rather than just doing like.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, this is just some random like spooky dooky evil shit, which I guess
you
like
think it's
is
just random.
Yeah, I think it's one of nature's mysteries.
Oh,
Well, no,
kind of like sex, right?
Like asexual turtles.
Yeah, there was that
Oh,
bubble
shit.
of evil that Matt and Tuon experienced after they left Ibudar, and it was very similar. It was a scene of an ancient village that had long since gone to the wayside, and it's just there, everybody going about their business on their daily life. So you did get this view of just people doing things that wasn't actively attacking them, although a merchant did end up sinking with them. But it wasn't necessarily a malicious bubble of evil. It just it was this vision of the past. It's not like Hindersnap. So
Do you
Okay, so then it's a bubble of evil.
So I was going to get into that. Do you believe that this is kind of sheds light on the kind of cosmology of this world, or is this just a mind fuck that has nothing to do with like alternate realities or what we learn about later in the Portal Stones, just the chapters after this, where worlds that have yet to be or worlds that might be, So is this a window into that at all, or is this just a complete weird mindfuck?
Well, now I've just been convinced that it is actually a bubble of evil. And like, no, think about it. Robert, old Bobby J is not really a stranger, but
Bobby J.
he's not really a stranger to introducing something before he explains what it is. So, yeah, it's reasonable to. Yeah,
I agree that it probably is not a trap as well. I think that, but it is suspicious that Lanfear is kind of obviously there. We see a woman who her eyes shine like the moon in a dream and whatnot. And Uno keeps seeing the same flame and goat
with one eye.
It's an
One
eagle eye.
motherfucking eye. You see
I
that
do
shit.
love that test that he gives to Massima at the beginning of chapter 11 when he's saying that he said, just before we found the goat kissing Halfman, the same flaming woman at the flaming ferry, she was there, and then bloody wasn't. You say what you bloody want to, and you want to know how flaming say it, or I'll bloody skin you myself and burn your goat kissing hide, you deep gutted milk drinker.
All right, so
Like,
can we
that's
get a?
amazing.
Can you, Leigh-a, can you give us a modern day translation of what that would mean?
Yeah, what exactly was he saying? I don't know.
Yeah, like let's translate that into modern English.
There's no children around.
Yes, this is an adult show. Hey, let's put that banner up. This is not for children. And go.
All I'm fucking saying is that I fucking saw her, goddamn you, before we found that asshole shithead Halfman, the same goddamn woman at the goddamn ferry. She was there and then fucking wasn't. You say what you fucking want to, but you know how you. Oh God, children.
I heard children. I know.
All right, back to flaming goats. Back to flaming goats.
How you fucking say it, or I'll fucking skin you myself and burn your goddamn asshole and skin you fucking alive, you goddamn motherfucker.
Yes!
Yes.
Leigh-a!
Well done.
Hey, just,
You
if you
are
want to cut things, come to the sailor.
Nice.
So epic.
Well done. Yeah.
Hey, real quickly,
ahead.
chat. Are you hearing any music? Do we need to turn music up? Let us know in the chat. Thank you. Go on, Dad.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, chat. And we appreciate your input in this finely run, tuned machine that we call our show.
Thanks, Jake. Thank you.
I also kind of want to talk a little bit about this dead. Well, I guess the whole trip, but we'll culminate with the dead fade. But these boys and these soldiers, these are seeing some gruesome, horrible shit.
Yeah,
horrible shit. Every 3 hours they're coming across another murder. He says the same thing. Murder. Oh my God, this is disturbing.
Seasoned soldiers. These guys are I'm sorry, real quick. Shinari soldiers who are seasoned AF are like retching.
Yeah.
And like Ingtar literally doesn't let them like drive their horses to death and lets them camp before nightfall because he realized they're kind of sad. My God, Ingtar's really got the pulse of his crew, right?
Well, they see two men that were skinned alive. They're seeing piles with the heads neatly stacked on top. This is gruesome shit. It's like PTSD inducing, horrible. Like you wake up and that's what you're seeing is these skinned men kind of thing. Gross.
Yeah, well, this is where Jordan really starts showing off his knack for writing horror. So Eye of the World was kind of PG-13. There was a lot of intense scenes there, but and scary scenes, but it wasn't
never this
horrifying. And there's a couple. Some things that come to my head is like in Eye of the World, or sorry, Gathering Storm, when the Murdral are putting the swords into people to quench them, to create their swords. Do you guys have any examples of horror that you could think of that's in the books?
I mean, I would say when Lanfear skins that man alive in the Aiel Waste, basically turns his skin inside out. That was pretty horrific. Yeah.
Yep.
I think
Yeah,
when
I would
Rand
say-
was kind of going crazy in book 3 and finds those travelers and murders them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like out of nowhere.
That's pretty
he
crazy.
Just...
I think that one town that everybody turns into kind of murderous rampaging freaks that every
Hendersnap,
night and
yeah.
wakes up.
Hendersnap.
Yeah, Henderson. I think that's bad, but that's Brandon Sanderson. So yeah.
Well, we also in this chapter we have this dead Fade, and Jordan adds the line, quote, "Scuff marks on the wood behind his boots showed that he had been alive when it was done, when it began."
Jesus.
Anyway.
What a detail! That guy's like, oh, I mean, I don't feel bad for the murder.
Yeah, that sentence right there adds a lot of gravity to what happened to this Fade.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of brilliant that it's all off camera also. So it just leaves everything to your imagination of what it took to pin a Murdrawl, have like superhuman strength. So what does it take to pin a Murdrawl, drive multiple nails through it? They're able to slip through shadows. So I mean, these supernatural, terrifying creatures. What and how does that happen?
Right.
Yeah.
And Varen shows up. Oh, and Varen shows up later and is like, "Do you see that fucking Murdrawl? I wish I could have studied that. That's awesome."
Like, I want to dissect it. Do an autopsy.
Go ahead, right.
So, is it confirmed that? So, do we know exactly who did it? Is that confirmed?
Yeah. So Fane did it. He actually talks about it at the end of 12.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. That's right. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he loves it. But I mean,
I think it's like very heavily implied that it is actually Fane.
Yeah, it's heavily implied, and because Fane.
But Lanfear was on the scene, though. It just gets a little weird with her being there. Like,
it's just not her though.
She's just sitting there with like fucking popcorn in her hands.
She has
enjoying the show, man.
To do that, to reveal herself in that way.
Quote, he remembered the feel of the hammer in his hand, driving the spikes in, and he smiled. This time it did touch his eyes with the joy of sweet memory.
All right, so let's talk about Lanfear real quick. Is Lanfear able to give herself an orgasm just by thinking, or is she not had an orgasm since like for thousands of years, and that's why she's so crazy?
She doesn't strike me as someone who would deny herself.
That's well said.
I think she's as in love with herself as she feels everybody else should be, and why wouldn't she turn herself on and have plenty of orgasms whenever she chooses?
But like, what else can motivate you? Like, that seems like an amazing life. Like, why is she so motivated?
Because she'd rather have Lutheran giving her orgasms.
Yeah. I mean, so they're just not good enough, right? Like,
they're not the same. It's
I'm pretty sure most of the Forsaken weren't actually conscious during those 3,000 years. I think it was just
like a limbo, like they're cryogenically frozen.
Pretty much.
Oh,
yeah,
I felt like Lanfear was just being like laying there, sexually frustrated the entire time. That's what she asked.
Might have been Aguinar and Ishmael.
Yeah, but like those they were only at the very edge of the prison. I think that was pretty explicitly said at some point. I can't
that's why
remember.
Aguinar was all burnt away, and that's why Ishmael was able to touch the world every 1,000-ish years.
So is this a cryogenic chamber? So they're basically like cryogenic chambers, like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, sure.
I think he does, Grendel, and that's why she's so desperate to get him back.
Well, you see, Lutheran knows. Rand doesn't necessarily.
Not yet, no.
Not yet. Not yet. Not until I'll be into school for a little bit.
Just he needs his journey of self-discovery and exploration.
Self-discovery.
I think Rob has somewhere the sound
that
Lutheran made with Ilyena when he was with her. What was that sound, Rob? Do you know? I'm putting him on the spot. This is so great.
Dude, Rob might not even be in the room right now.
Yeah.
He might be European.
Yep. I just did it.
I think I think pretty sure.
Oh, baby! Yeah, there we go, baby. That's powerful.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure the reason Lanfear and Leigh-a broke up is because he was too busy shouting Ileana.
I want
No, you're right. You're right. Like he had that issue. It's like he's like the first night with Lanfear, he's like, "Oh, I love you, Ileana." What? She like fucking hellfires him.
Or attempts to.
Yeah, we don't have that clip of Ileana. We have that, and we have powerful Ace Sedai.
Powerful Ace Sedai.
There we go.
Ace
Those are our
Sedai.
clips.
What? Just a
We got
random
that in
attack?
Tombstone.
Just a random attack. All right, so where were we? Brother Dan,
You
help me
were
out. I'm
having
lost.
questions about Lanfear.
yeah.
So do you think that at this point that Pat
Yes,
Payne
yes.
had met
Lanfear's
Lanfear?
orgasms. Leigh-a, have you weighed in?
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, Leigh-a, have you weighed in on Lanfear and her ability to make herself come with her mind?
Oh, I said I agreed with Christini's assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We share a
So-
brain. So, yeah.
We did. We share a brain. We're twins.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. But and you agree that it's just not the same without Luce Theron? That's why
Oh,
she's so
definitely
obsessed?
not. Definitely not.
Okay, I can
So-
relate.
Yeah. So Luce Theron, and I can see why she'd probably go after Rand, because he was apparently attractive, a little bit young for her taste, maybe, but
Lots of stamina.
she was seeing that Luce Theron's soul. in there.
Stamina!
And she doesn't seem
Kenny's
to
country
like
strong.
mind teaching a trick or two, so to make sure that she gets it exactly the way she wants it.
More flame than void.
Very nice. So do we think that Pat Payne has met Lanfear at this point?
I don't
I
think so.
don't think so.
I don't
think
know that they
she's
do.
Trying to stay on the periphery as much as possible. She has her own plan that really kind of has nothing to do with anybody else. I think she enjoys everybody else being distracted by their shit, so that she can just kind of focus on what her motivation is, which is getting these things back.
All right. Hey guys, so real quickly. So is the entire, and we'll get into this maybe in the second half of the show. And real quickly, we're gonna very soon go take a 10-minute break and give my hand a rest, and we're gonna come back and continue discussing. But the question I'm going to pose to everyone, maybe we'll wait till after the break, is the Dark One just really bad at hiring?
His HR department is definitely
Like, is this the whole story that the Dark One just hired a bunch of really bad Forsaken, and he should have like hired a bunch of better people thousands of years ago?
Yeah. Well, I think his criteria for picking is flawed, right?
It's so difficult to find good magical labor that it's evil these days.
I mean, like,
he is just a bad manager also. So his entire premise for his employees is that they basically are constantly undercutting each other. So they're not able to successfully accomplish his goals. He also allows them to undercut him whenever possible. He doesn't really punish them often enough when they disobey him. So, it's
Dark
going to
Ones.
punish them.
yeah. So yeah,
Amazon
so-
middle management.
Yeah, no, I believe that's great. So after the break, we're going to discuss that. We're also going to discuss whether or not the Dark One's kind of limited scope. Kind of like he has this kind of Eye of Sauron capacity, where it's like you have to call his attention all of a sudden. Then he's like, "Oh, hey,
Hey,
you
my
you."
name? Hey, I was in the neighborhood. You call me?
So he's like either like the hugest narcissist in the world, or he has like this kind of weird narrow abilities. And like how the Forsaken utilize that to their advantage, it's weird that Lanfear can have her own like secret plot that the Dark One doesn't even understand or know about. Like, why is that even a possibility in the cosmology of like this world? We'll talk about that. I hear the music building up, guys. Let's take a 10-minute break, and we will get back into this in the next half. I love everyone. You guys are doing great.
Thank you.
And
You too, Ryan.
And let's mute our mics for this. Hey, I'm all about it. And let's mute our mics, everyone, for 10 minutes.
Men can be fickle, but those I always trust. Seriously, if this is what music is, I could write it as well as.
Oh, I love the old man. Getting down. Don't pull a muscle.
Dad?
The trouble with primitive.
Dad, is that you?
I'm afraid you might pull a muscle.
Your music.
All right, I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Time a dozen. You can trip over them.
Dad.
Anyone can present.
Sad dad. Hey, everybody.
They might be.
All right, let's lower the music. And oh my gosh, we have some mood lighting going on. Christini.
Strangers in the night.
And we have a new friend. Who is our new friend?
My name is Gray. Gray with an A, not like that city gnome, which is Gray with an E.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, well, yeah, Gray with an A.
Gray with an A.
I am here to make sure you stay on track, boys.
Good luck.
Noden has a life-size cat puppet. Oh my God! Look at that, guys.
Noden, that's beautiful.
Very realistic. Look at the special effects.
Wow! Look at it. It almost looks real.
It almost looks real.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Until you look at the eyes, then it
He's angry.
My puppet is too.
Christini.
Yeah.
So I see a new you. Is this a new Christini? Are you gonna bring it right now with like a new? Are you?
I'm gonna bring it.
Fervor?
You know what? Okay, so in my basement, the lighting is horrible. So I apologize. So during the break, I ran all the way upstairs to the bedroom. I got my ring light and ran all the way back down again. And is this
you
better?
You look stunning. Thank you so much.
Is this better? Okay. Thank you.
Everyone looks great.
Noden, what? Your lighting is very scary.
I know what happened
now.
to Noden. Noden is now being like cryptic and weird.
Ooh, I like it though.
I'm a touch terrified.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I like
That's
that.
enough of that.
All right, let's.
All right, so we're in agreement that was a bubbly of evil. We don't think that is kind of explaining any cosmological truths about the world. We think that it was just kind of a challenge Rand had to face. But moving forward, what do you guys think? Oh, the music's getting hot and heavy. Let's lower that music. I'm getting.
Come on, you sack, do your job properly and sort the fucking music out.
Come on, Gray. Rob.
Gray with an E. Yeah.
You can't get good help these days.
I don't like Gray with an E anymore. I like Gray with an A. Let's go, man.
Oh yes, it's all about Gray.
Getting you late, buddy. Let's go.
we're going on a party somewhere. I thought
Yeah,
I was here for the show.
We're going to a pub. I'm gonna get you laid.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're gonna go answer that question that got asked right before the break.
Yeah, please. Thank you, Gray. I thought Gray was going to keep us on track, but no, Leigh-a is.
Well, I was led to believe that there was a special segment after the break.
No.
Oh, very good
Title-
point. Thank you.
titled
Yes, Leigh-a,
The
let's
Way
hold.
of the Float.
Thank you so much. Hot-
Guys,
Floaties hot
I don't want to brag. I don't like to gloat, but let's bring it up
it's time to
when
gloat.
a time to float.
Hey, welcome.
He's reading.
Yes.
And
Is he done? Oh, nope. He's a speed reader. Oh, and he's back. He's back.
There we go. Hey, Floaty!
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Welcome back. It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
How you been?
Good.
Awesome. You have been reading these chapters along with us, and you have some thoughts, questions, and notes about these things.
Yep.
And so we wanted to give you your own time so we can address some of them. And the panel, go ahead and feel free to respond any way that you can. Floaty, the time is yours, my man.
Okay. So then the first thing I wanted to talk about from chapter 10 was when Uno saw the woman in white in the doorway.
Yes.
Oh, I should. So by the way, guys, Floaty is a first-time reader, so he is only a couple chapters beyond what we're talking about now. So
I just finished 16.
Okay, so you know where we're at.
So what happens in 16? Remind us, please.
That's the one where they meet Selene, the one that Rain's like in love with.
Oh, okay.
That I feel like I think she's completely fake, but that's just me.
All right, let's go back. Go back to your notes. So yeah, we're chapter 10.
So that woman, that ghost Uno saw in white, I first believed it was Rain's mom, but I've had second thoughts about that.
Okay.
I'm starting to think it was Selene based off of her description in 16.
Okay. Well, why would Selene be there?
I wouldn't know.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe.
Was she on tour with her band, Celine Dion? Was she on tour?
Oh, wait, of course. And then the other thing from 10 I was wanting to discuss was that dinner scene with the flies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Get into it, Floaty.
I was just like, I went back and I was like, okay, there were 6 instances it restarted and then 6 flies, so 1 for each of those times. I'm assuming. I'm still not sure what happened there, but that's fine.
Awesome.
Well, what do you think happened there? Do you have any idea?
I feel like Balsamon happened.
Okay.
Oh, I want a shirt that says Balsamon happened.
And then transported them all to the world.
Okay, so it was when Rand walked in, because Matt didn't feel anything.
Nope.
But Rand in that house. What if Matt had gone into that house?
Ooh,
Do you think that he would have had that same experience that Rand had?
No.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
Wow. Okay.
And then on to 11.
All right.
Good job. You're doing great, Floaty.
Okay, so the part where whoever was looking at the stone, correct me since I can't remember.
Loyal?
Yes, Loyal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, with him looking at that stone, I was like, okay. At first, I was like, it could be part of a Waygate, but I was like, that's completely not right. And it had to be a portal stone, since after they explained that in 16.
Mm-hmm.
And then the part where Thane says, kill them all, you may fade, but then make a pile of everything that remains for our friends to find. Put the heads on top. Nearly now, he laughed and cut it off short. Go.
Gross.
Gross.
With that scene in particular, I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what is going on?
But I realized the friends he's mentioning are Rand and all them.
Right, and we talked about this earlier in the show that they've been following a pretty gruesome trail.
Oh yeah,
there are bodies everywhere they end up, and then
dead bodies everywhere. Dead bodies everywhere.
And Huron has to smell not only the bodies and what everyone else can smell, but he smells like the evil intent behind it and the violence itself. What do you think Huron is going through with this stuff right now, Floaty?
For honestly, I feel like Huron is actually smelling the trail from the real world, not the mirror world.
Oh, okay, yes.
Since it would make sense because like they haven't found any dark friends or anything for him to follow the scent from.
Ooh. So tell me about the mirror world. What do you mean by mirror world?
It's different.
Yeah? Where do we see the mirror world?
Do what?
Where do we encounter the mirror world?
After they stop sleeping by a rock, and then they wake up, and then here we are, some new world. We don't know where the hell we are.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's
and then they find the portal stone once they wake up in the mirror world.
That's exactly what happens. They're like, wait a minute, no one is here, and we are somewhere else.
Yeah,
and
I've had that. So Floaty, just so you know, I've had that happen several times, but
of course,
from different reasons. Of course,
of course.
Ryan, did you have it where, like, if you looked at things directly on the side, like it seemed like they were going really fast, and like the mirror, like the portal stone world, kind of has?
I mean,
yeah. When you're
time and space are completely relative in my mind. I've transcended both of those through meditation and spiritual experiences.
Floaty, Fane nails a fade to a door. What do you? How do you think that happened?
I'm so baffled by how that happened.
Yeah. Okay, that's a fair answer.
So that surprised you.
Yes.
All right, so let's get into your thoughts on the last chapter, chapter 12.
Okay.
You're doing great, Floaty.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
And then I had a prediction from 11. We can get back to that later.
Tell me your prediction now. Prediction.
Okay, here we go. From 11. I believe they will at some point catch up to where Fane is, but then I believe he'll take them as prisoners when they get to where he is, and then put them in jail cells, and will then try to frame the group that's looking for the horn, and they'll take the blame for it, not Fane.
Okay. Very strong.
Sneaky.
Interesting.
Nice.
Detailed prediction. We like this.
And then political. From 12.
Go for it.
This quote just. Anyway, I don't feel like a flower. If anything, I feel like a blackthorn bush. I think I'll wait by the fire. After all, well, child, remember that even a blackthorn has flowers sometimes, beautiful and white among the thorns. So, I picked that one mainly because Naive is just like, oh yeah, no, this ain't me. And then the Amerlin is like, oh, even though you're a blackthorn bush, you get white flowers too, as a sign of, oh, you may get to the point Egwene's at, but it may take longer for you or something like that.
That's nice, Floaty. That's beautiful. That's a
Nice.
very poetic moment in the book. It really is.
It
And
really
then-
is. And it is Varen finding beauty where Nynaeve is saying that this is ugly. So
Exactly.
she's like, I feel dumb. I feel inadequate. I feel like I'm not doing it. And she's like, no.
Exactly.
Yeah, well done. Nicely said.
And then the dream Egwene has when she
Tell
sees
me.
like Balsamon, and then she's like sensing that they're going to a trap or whatever.
Okay,
And
yeah.
soon,
Go on.
I actually think I know what that trap she was dreaming about was.
Okay.
The mirror world.
Okay. So you think that they are in the mirror world as we'll just call it the mirror world from here on out. You think that they're in the mirror world because Balsamon put them there?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. Very awesome. Wow.
Let me see.
job.
Did you have any thoughts about like predictions on this last chapter?
Yes, I did.
All right, give it to me.
Based
Yeah,
on
hit it.
what I know about Leandrin, I'm very convinced she attended the Dark Friend Mixer from the prologue, based on how she's been asking questions about the boys. It just seems to want as much info on them as possible, and she possibly can deliver the news to the Dark One. I also think she knows more than what she's letting on, and knows that the Dark One is not dead, but isn't saying anything regarding that just yet. I also believe she is an Aja from the Red to hide the fact that she's a Black Aja.
Oh,
So you think the red Aja is a mask for black? So do you think all
Yes.
reds are black?
For her in particular.
For her in particular, but you don't think it means all reds are black?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Floaty. Wow.
You
So
killed.
amazing. You're doing so
Killing it,
amazing.
Your camera looks great. Thank you to Andrew from the Black Tower Podcast who donated a camera to Floaty. You
Mhm.
sound fabulous.
Wow.
Thank
Are
you.
Are you eating your Lady Gaga Oreos right now?
Yeah, you missed it.
I did miss it.
Floaty, thanks you for coming on.
Yeah,
You're
Floaty,
welcome.
we will have you on next week, as it is just a normal Tavern Talk next week. So we'll have
Okay.
you on, and we'll see you on Discord, buddy. Thursday.
Same time next week.
Yeah.
Same time next week.
Get to reading, you filthy animal.
Yeah, float away, Floaty. Float away.
Thank you, Floaty. God.
Amazing.
That was awesome.
Amazing. Amazing. Such a nice
That was
young
great.
man.
He had some really good insights.
Yeah.
No, he is. Yeah,
Really good.
he is a
Yeah,
a
he
great
caught me on
reader.
it. Yeah.
And we should have had him. He has a blog post that he's been working on that he does a chapter by chapter where he goes in and his thoughts at the beginning before he starts reading it based off of the icon and the chapter title, and then thoughts throughout, and then predictions for the future. So if you're curious to get a little more information about Floaty, I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I'm sure we
It's
could.
Watt Thoughts by Floaty.
Watt
Well, you know what?
Oh,
I'm gonna.
They're awesome.
They
I
are
will
good. He's really
convince.
good.
Hey, check it out. I will convince Floaty to change his Twitter name to Time to Float, and then we will all be able to find him and follow him on Twitter, and then we will be able to find his blog
That'd be great.
post. Yours, Leigh-a, that's so amazing. Thank you so
All
much.
right,
Yeah,
all right. Stop watching now, Floaty.
yeah.
Don't talk
Hang
about.
up.
Don't talk
Hang
about
up.
you. We're gonna go spoiler now.
Get back
Yeah,
to
we'll
reading
talk
your
about
filthy
spoiler.
where Ren finds the
I already
training
went
Chris-
spoiler, I thought.
So the Dark One's Danny DeVito. Did you guys see that coming?
Oh no!
Oy
should
vey.
I just come in blasting.
Like through my reread, like he put the seeds like really early on.
Yeah.
Because like fuck, that twist way down the line. Yeah,
You never saw it coming.
like he
And
sprinkled
so,
hints.
but speaking of
He was
seeing it
telling
coming,
us.
up to this point, did anyone have
Whoops.
any idea? Our first-time reader has the notion that Ingtar is a dark friend. and was at the Dark Friend social.
Wow.
Did any of you guys pick up on any of that shit at all?
No.
Ingtar
Not
to
my
me,
first
I
read,
mean,
no.
still reading it now, I'm like,
No.
I'm not seeing it. It's the dude is just like, is a stud.
Damn.
He gave you
in
the
this
hint,
chapter,
but
in this
hard.
chapter, he was saying there's a moment where Rand looks at him and Ingtar looks down and he says, it looks as if Ingtar has secrets that he is not willing to share.
yeah. And then he goes on that really dark rant too. Like there's another RJ hint. I missed my first read, but it's
when
like
he's talking
whoa,
about
dude.
the dead pound.
Where even Nuno's like, chill out, bro.
Yeah. Just kind of look at him like, ooh.
I will have the horn. But it can also be read as this is the main general in the Shinarian army.
Yep.
He was given this not only from Algamar, but also the Amarillan seat. He is devoted and focused and does not want to let this woman down. And he's like, she's a wise woman and she doesn't deserve a dog like me. He's really self-effacing as far as that goes. I'm still reading it. I'm trying to read dark in him, and I'm not really seeing it yet up to this
like
chapter.
Baron, you don't very much see the dark in her. So like the motivations that people have when they become dark friends, it's well before they knew that the last battle was going to even happen in their lifetime. So they just thought it was going to be something that was self-promotional that would get them ahead or possibly achieve something. So being a dark friend doesn't actually make you a dark person or a bad person. Conversely, not being a dark friend doesn't make you a good person in the case of people like Elida or Gawain. So,
a lot of the descent into becoming a dark friend is incremental, right? It's not like most of them. It's not like this one big event happens. There are all these little events and all these small choices that they make.
Yeah, kind of like how I got involved in QAnon. It took a.
Is that what happened?
One.
You just started scrolling and.
I wonder how many people got into it like a bad tattoo, though. They just kind of
it was like
really
just
drunk
2 hours on the internet, and I was like hooked. No, so I got a question. Does Leandrin? Do we all think Leandrin is actually at this social?
Yeah.
For sure.
Ingtar,
for sure.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, so do you believe like a description of an Aes Sedai is him pointing out Leandrin?
Yep.
So Bors notices. Does Bors notice her? Huh?
Andy notices Ingtar. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Bors does notice an Aes Sedai.
Well, Ingtar walked by like he had like a dildo up his ass.
All right. So the quote about the Aes Sedai: suddenly his eyes narrowed, fixing on a woman enveloped in black till nothing showed but her fingers. On her right hand rested a gold ring in the shape of a serpent eating its own tail. Aes Sedai, or at least a woman trained in the tower. He's talking a lot about the ring.
Oh my god.
So
I love you.
Was Baron there?
He was staring at her ring. That's very personal.
Two witches gave no signs that they knew each other. So there were definitively 2 Aes Sedai there. He actually doesn't seem to give a physical description of the women. So you can make the assumption that Leandrin was there because of what she does later in the book with Egwene and Nynaeve trying to get them to go over to Shan-Chan. And then you could, depending on your opinion of Varen, she could possibly be one, because I know people have varying opinions about her involvement in the Faldara attack.
Why did she leave without Tomas? Tomas is a dark friend. Why did she split without him?
My assumption, this is totally my headcanon, is that she sent him on some sort of other task that we'll never know what it was.
Okay, because it says that Tomas was in a tizzy over it. So that task wasn't a very long one. But do we have any idea why? Is it because danger? I mean, he's the warder.
Well,
it seems weird. It seemed weird
that
she would.
Well, like she said, we might never know that one, but that did seem weird, especially because Tomas was a dark friend. How about the idea that Robert Jordan was basically hinting that Moraine was at the Dark Friends social also, because she arrived at basically the same time as Ingtar. Remember, Maureen was gone, and then she arrived, and we never know what she was doing. Do we?
Yeah,
think
Lan's
that
like, don't ask questions, sheepherder.
Well, so it's not that Moraine was necessarily gone in Feldar. She was just ignoring Rand. But her absence definitely, I think, was one of those false Easter eggs that left a lot of questions in the reader's mind. And there's constant questions, especially from Selene, saying, don't trust these people. And so you can see how Rand's mind just turns, who do I really trust? And as the reader seeing all of the outside, we definitely come to question Moraine.
Yeah.
And
I'm still
also,
trying.
Moraine's just she's so enigmatic. Like, she's meant to be like that annoying, just tell them.
Yeah. There's a lot of like Three's Company style, like miscommunications going on where it's like, oh my God, Jesus, everyone, if we could just talk like real people, not like puppets of, real people.
Puppets of real people. See what you did there.
So Ryan, I did look up your the quote regarding Maureen's absence. Rand is troubled while working with Lan, and he says, now she's gone off somewhere, vanished, ... And Lan says, I told you she needs to be alone sometimes. It isn't for you or anyone else to question her actions.
Yeah. So like that could be like a kind of a Virginia Woolf kind of feminism, room of her own moment.
The wallpaper,
or she just went and attended the Dark Friend Social in Incommunicado.
Yeah. It was kind of a perhaps because Ingtar was out hunting.
Yeah, Dana, only 2 Aes Sedai were at the Black Friend Social that Boar saw. Doesn't mean that there weren't more, but he only noticed 2.
Good. Leigh-a, Jesus Christ, you're like an encyclopedia. This is
I'm not
amazing.
as good as Morgan, but
no.
Her shit.
Morgan is impressive, perhaps too impressive. Make a note of that.
We can we don't need you as like a fact checker because Dan and I are wildly off base on everything we know. So, but you're amazing. So I'm learning so much.
You should have her on just Leigh-a. You should totally do a show where literally it's just her talking about all of her theories and correcting everybody else because she's very good at it.
I agree.
Holy shit.
We should have Princess Leia on many, many times. I think she's fabulous.
Thank you.
Look at that crown. It's amazing.
I have many crowns, so you'll have a new crown every
I know. Hey, noted. Step up your game, bro.
Yeah,
Come on. Where's your encyclopedic knowledge like Leigh-a has?
Well, you know what? I'm just gonna boil up a pot of molten gold.
All right, you know what?
Dee Tee, that is.
Here.
Oh my God!
Oh no, we have more crowns. Wait, can we have a close up of Leigh-a and Christini, please? I want to see some crowns. You should see me in a crown.
I don't know how to do my head.
Sparkle.
First off,
I may play piano.
I am a huge Billie Eilish fan.
Yes.
Oh my God, everyone's got tiaras and crowns. This is amazing. I love everyone. Oh my God. That's not working. I love Noted. Oh, that's Noted? What, Brother Dan? You went to Burger King?
Brother Dan.
It's a tambourine.
It worked. It worked for you, boy.
Oh my God, I can't even improvise a crown. That's amazing. Oh, great. So Gray with an A.
Yes.
Can you give me a little backstory? Tell me. Hey, Gray with an A. Let's highlight you. Give me some backstory.
Originally the backstory starts in Eye of the World. Or did you want the prologue?
I want your personal backstory. Gray. Tell me about yourself, Gray.
Right.
When you were born? Tell us about yourself.
My name is Gray.
When did your heroin addiction start?
When did my heroin addiction start?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound
I
appropriate
think
for right
heroin
now.
was after his time.
I'm just assuming.
These were fantastic.
He's more of the Two Rivers to back type guy, I think.
Now
Look
we're
at this-
talking, Leigh-a. Yes, Leigh-a is right.
Look at
There are
his
two
face.
rivers
We
to
can't
back.
tell how old he is. He could be 30 or 300. We don't know.
I bet he's 24.
I mean, I have just look my lovely Tash and
Holy
I've got some-
shit! You got arms?
Yeah,
Gray has
he's
arms?
really- Guy, I'm telling you, look, he has a tongue. He has a hard tongue. I think
Wait.
he's our
Let's see
dad.
if does Gray have longer arms than me?
I think he's our dad. That's our birthmark.
I don't mean to scare you, Ryan, but you inherited your arms from your mother, who was
Stubby.
Dad, I can reach things.
Yeah, my mom was a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yes.
Am I
Well,
good?
you know, she was just an animal. I couldn't resist. So
Ryan, you're just not going to be forging anything seriously anytime soon with those short
Yes.
arms. Sorry to say.
I understand. But Gray
You
is
may
my
be
new
flaming.
favorite human. My new favorite non-human is Gray with an A.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's so kind of you. I'm very new. I've just recently gotten into technology. The kids tell me about this Me Tube. They keep saying it's you, so I assume they mean Me Tube.
Great
I'm
tube. Great
I'm
tube.
going to correct their grammar.
Me
there.
Tube.
Yeah, so I'm new to the Me Tube. I've decided to take over this meat sack's house and just come and join your journey, lads. If that's okay.
Of course. Thank you.
We love
for
you, Gray.
joining us.
Thank
We
you.
love you,
Thank
Gray.
you. I
So,
hope
guys-
it wasn't too shocking a surprise when I just hopped in the intermission.
Oh, no.
No, of course. No.
Well, I think Brother
you're the
Dan
best.
had a question that maybe you could answer.
So I when in
Thank
this
you.
reread, I noticed that the fire set fire to blankets. Varen's like, oh, I'll have new blankets sent, and a warder came and delivered these blankets.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that's a little beneath the office of a warder? You were there too, and it's not like
Really good.
Baron's warder did it. It was just some warder. You could
Like a
just ask him.
concierge.
Yeah, what gives? I mean, a warder can kill you in his sleep. Why is he delivering blankets?
Hey, Brother Dan.
Because he
Yeah.
can.
Well, first off, Brother Dan, I can kill you in your sleep.
Well,
Oh,
Wow.
what-
I'm not trained in any way. I can.
That is no way to speak to your brother. Don't make me come up there and sort you two out. Because I will. See?
I'm sorry,
I,
Greg, I'm
I
sorry.
could come up here. That's more like it, yes.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna hit it right.
I'm sorry, Greg.
Well, I'm
I
rubber.
will
You're
spank
glue.
you worse than RJ. You have been told. Christini,
All right.
they're yours now. Try
So
to
yeah,
control
I
them,
thought
please.
I was a little troubled on this reread that a warder was relegated to bringing blankets to people that weren't even Aes Sedai. They're not even accepted. They're not even novices. They're just girls. I'm not trying to say that they don't deserve blankets, but I also think that there's
you're
people that do that. I mean, I don't know. You
Yeah,
don't
it's a
have
little,
Conan.
it's a little odd. Yeah.
Conan the Barbarian. Here's your
Well, I think warders are honestly just going to do whatever their Aes Sedai tell them. So if an Aes Sedai doesn't have a servant around and she just wants to get those blankets to those not yet novices, because their names are not quite yet in the book, the warder's just going to do it. He's not going to question it. So it might be below him. But warders don't see any task that's given to them by an Aes Sedai as being below them per se. So
Right.
they're
Hey, Leah.
literally going to do everything.
like a whole other reason that he's not aware of, or maybe he just wants something to do. Maybe he's just like, please, for the love of God, give me something to do. Yes, I will put out blankets.
Maybe Lon
That's a
sent them.
good point.
I hear
good
the
point.
angry one's kind of cute. I haven't seen her yet. Maybe
I
I'll
was going to
just
say, you know,
like-
Lan wants to be delivering those blankets
Yeah.
to Nynaeve.
He's too shy though. He sent his buddy.
Maybe
You
there
go
was
listen,
gossip
listen.
over in the Gaiden camp, and like Lan was talking about this hot new novice, and the other warders wanted to go check her out and see what all the gossip was about.
Yeah.
I think Lance was sent a friend and said, excuse me, my friend likes you. Could we have your number, please?
Oh,
she
there
said,
was a secret note slipped in the blanket.
Yeah, like, can you
yeah.
go with me? Yes or no?
The tick box, yes, no sort of situation. It's very romantic, and today is a romantic day, so.
True.
Oh yeah.
That's why we talked about chapters with torture in it.
Yes, because nothing says romance like nailing a fade.
Hey, you ever nailed a fade or two in your life? Come on. Oh, literally nail. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It requires a bit more energy than I have these days, but it's an experience.
It's crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, these chapters are pretty. I like that point that it does start to get into horror here, and when we not to I guess belittle this point, but the fact that these boys, I don't know what kind of trauma that this is creating in them, but for me personally, this would be the most horrible trip ever.
Yeah,
They don't
not
seem too put out by it, but I don't know.
Well, the Eye of the World was a pretty bad trip too, right? It was, hey, everything's fine. We're eating honey cakes to, oh shit, monsters attacking us, and we're fleeing with some horrible Aes Sedai we don't trust. It was pretty traumatic all around through the Eye of the World. So it's just another.
Yeah,
But you're right.
Eye of the World. It just wasn't. It was
just gets
terrifying.
more
It wasn't
gory.
horrifying.
Yeah, he writes it differently. I always think like Eye of the World kind of gives the Wheel of the Time that kind of name, like, oh, it's kind of PG. You could let your kids read. Well, not really. After Eye of the World, it's different. It's darker, and here it starts to go that way.
I feel like Eye of the World was his Hobbit. If you want to look at it that way, where it's more accessible to maybe a slightly younger audience, but then things pick up very quickly. And actually, if I could just kind of shift the topic of conversation just a little bit, I think a lot happens in these chapters with Rand and with all of the struggles that Rand is facing regarding his identity, right? So all this stuff happens in like a really short period of time where, here's Rand and he lives in the Two Rivers and life is good and he knows who he is and he knows what his parentage is, and then all of a sudden, not only is he traumatized by all the shit that happens with the Trollocs and stuff, then he finds out that maybe Tam isn't actually his father, and then he gets whisked away. There's like this snowball that happens, and so I think you really kind of start to see where Rand isn't only traumatized by these external events. He's also dealing with a lot of inner turmoil regarding who he is at his core. And so, like, as the story goes on, we see him continually facing one trauma after another. And even though the other boys are also facing traumas, they seem to I don't want to say bounce back, but they seem to sort of deal with them a little bit better. And for me, that comes back to what's happening here, where Rand all of a sudden doesn't have that foundation that Perrin and Mad have. They know they're Two Rivers folk. They know who their parents are. At their core, they know who they are. And Rand doesn't have that anymore. And
they also, they don't have that level of responsibility that comes with, oh, you're the Dragon Reborn either. That's another whole heavy.
He's still not even an adult, right? So he's what would be classified as an emerging adult. So he's not a child. He's not fully a developed adult yet. His brain isn't even fully formed. So when you combine trauma with that, it's like all of this stuff happens at once. And the fact that he's as functional as he is as the books go on, I think it's pretty amazing. When I look at Rand through that lens, because he annoys the fuck out of me sometimes, but when I look at him through that lens, it makes him a much more sympathetic character, because he really is just a kid way in over his head.
Such a kid. And speaking of trauma, I kind of, for me, it feels like a flaw in Robert Jordan's writing, to be honest, to be baldly honest. I've really studied the Flicker chapters because I was going to do the podcast on those chapters. And at the end of the Flicker moments, these guys literally experienced their own death over and over and over and over again, to the point where Perrin is ripping his own eyeballs out.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
He's trying to pull his own eyeballs out based on what he saw, which made funny jokes about wolf sex, but in reality, like what these kids, not even old enough to drive, not even or drink, not even 21, these kids are like experiencing their own death, the things we are afraid of, the things we're avoiding constantly every day. Like they're experiencing multitudes of them, lifetimes of them. How are they functional? And not only them, but everyone, all the Shinarian soldiers were all like fucked over. And then there's a whole Huron. What is Huron experience? What kind of weird shit does he smell over and over again?
Right. Yeah, you get that visceral reaction from her.
I mean, don't you think that it's fair then to say that a lot of people like to say, oh, Rand has PTSD. It's not just Rand, and it's not just PTSD. They have complex PTSD if they have PTSD because they're traumatized repeatedly over and over and over again with no time to process between traumas ever. There's no time for any of them to process. So when we look at them and we say, oh, why is Perrin so bad at communicating? Why is why is Rand so impulsive? Why is Matt so impulsive? It's because they probably all have complex PTSD and it's just presenting slightly differently in each of them.
Is impulse part of that complex PTSD?
Yes.
Wow, words.
Oh, for sure. So when you combine the fact that the brains aren't fully developed, right? Their prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed yet because they're under the age of 23. With the trauma involved, PTSD for sure, impulse control is an issue because you're constantly in a state of hyperarousal and you can't regulate your emotions the way that you can when you are in a quote unquote normal state. So
you dysregulate over and over again. That's amazing. Christine, thank you.
Yeah, and to your point about identity, we have Rand like scream to where all the Shinarians are like, what happened? What happened? He's all, fuck, look at these clothes. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. He's like Armani. You want me to wear Armani?
I don't wear he was but I guess to that point, when you are when your identity is being stripped away from you and you don't even have the option of what you're wearing, and you know that your friends are going to be like, fuck you and your coat.
Well, there's so much of your personality that's wrapped up in your clothes. I imagine that he, a couple books ago, he was very adamant about keeping his Two Rivers boots. Like he just wanted those boots.
Right.
And, that's the clothes that he wore with the person that he considers his dad. And you keep seeing him recycle through this, like my dad. And then he relived that moment where
he knew the man. He knew the name of the man. He knew the name of the man who made his boots.
Right. And everyone is shaping him in their image. Land's like, all right, buddy, when you go in, you do this. You're going to spill 3 drops of water on the ground. Everyone is going to shit. Oh, this is going to be so funny. And then you walk in and you say, mother, I stand waiting. Shit.
Cat crosses the courtyard.
This is going to fucking shit her face. This is going to be great. And Rand's like, I don't even know what's going on. He's like, trust me, buddy. Trust me, this is going to be funny. Do it.
Well, and Christine, I guess that
was that a meeting of Jack Up?
Because just a couple of chapters ago, he was very adaptive into the behaviors that Varen even asks, like, Moraine, you said this was a sheep herder. Like this nosy noble is obviously not a sheep herder. So he's obviously adapting very quickly. Is that sort of PTSD-ish, or complex PTSD-ish, or?
So the thing about PTSD, right, is, and I don't remember exactly the time frame, but anything fewer than 4 weeks is not PTSD. Anything 4 weeks or longer can be classified as PTSD. But part of that adaptability, honestly, it could be some dissociation. But the thing is, like, PTSD is, and even regular PTSD is very complex, right? Like some people have trouble emoting. Some people have trouble connecting with others. Some people dissociate. Some people, pretty much everybody has a hard time sleeping or focusing or remembering basic things. But again, you have to think about where he is developmentally. So he's very much still in that phase of requiring a strong social identity. So it's not even just about his identity as an individual, it's about where he stands within the social hierarchy. So part of that adaptability comes from what we see teenagers and young adults doing, where they sort of, their identity is kind of fluid, like their external identity is very fluid in a way that it isn't as you get older. So I think it's probably more about that and less about the PTSD.
Okay, interesting.
And where does he always, what is his default? His father. The very first thing that kind of started his identity crumbling underneath him. And Robert Jordan not only took away his background, but destroyed his farm in the process. He doesn't have a home anymore.
Right. I mean, you know what's really fun is that Rand throughout the entire book leans back on this concept of his father, Tam, like kind of as this ideal area in his life. And then when Tam actually comes to him in Tyr, when he's in,
he tries to kill him.
He tries to kill him. Yeah. And just, like it completely crushes him, the fact that this perfect man was there. And it's like, it's such a complex scene, and he immediately flees, and thank God it goes, like somehow he goes to Veins of Gold almost immediately after, because and I think that's one of those major flipping points in the story where he could have become he could have become that Fanes or the Mordith style person where good intention becomes evil. Which is what the Dark One was kind of hoping for, wanted to turn him to evil on his own. It could have been a completely different type of the story, but yeah, you're right. Tam, not Tame. Oh God, not Tame.
Hey guys,
Freudian slip there, lungy lady. Freudian slip.
To the whole panel, my theory is that Tam knew all along that Rand was potentially the Dragon Reborn, and manufactured and like trained him from a very beginning.
Yeah.
And protected him. Do you guys feel the same way? How do you guys feel about that?
He must have an idea. Yeah.
He found a child on the slopes of Dragonmount, for fuck's sake. Like, seriously?
Well, do you think he went looking for the child?
Well, I don't think he went that far. I think he
All
was
right,
just
so
like...
let me ask you another question. Does it make sense that T. Grain would be battling 9 months pregnant?
No.
Does any IO woman battle at 9 months pregnant?
Yeah. I don't think it's common, but they do. And I mean, they're out there for a vengeance pact. And
okay, so having been 9 months pregnant more than once, you can barely walk across a room at that point.
Yes!
I don't know.
Yes! I have friends who
that
run
whole part of it, because it's like once that baby drops, man, you are not moving anywhere quickly, and you're certainly not reaching across your body.
No.
Well, yeah, so it's definitely not a good situation to be in, but I definitely do know women who have run marathons 9 months pregnant. Not a great situation.
Wait.
I would probably say...
side of the mountain with a giant stomach. I mean,
you've had experience having a child 9 months pregnant and such. I would suggest that RJ did not have that same knowledge. I made up some shit that worked for its book.
It was just that.
Very good point, Christine. Very, very good point.
Thank you for validating my experience as a pregnant.
That was not my intention. I was just trying to say that RJ made shit up.
Well, to Ryan's point, the Ravens chapter does have, or the prologue, the second prologue per se, does have Tam give the story of the Dragon Reborn. He also teaches him the flame and the void. He does not accept a wife. He lives on an outskirt farm that is as far from danger as anyone is going to be. There's no strangers come there, no anything. That a lot of these things, when you look in retrospect, could be that he was protecting
him. Yep.
The Dragon Reborn from exactly what happened later on.
Yep. And when Rand was saying, "Oh, I saw a Dark Rider," he knew instantly, "Oh shit, shit's going down." He goes back to Emmons Field, talks to the village council.
Talks to Rand,
Yeah, talks to fucking Perrin's dad, talks to Matt's dad, talks to everyone, gets everyone prepared for shit to go down. It does go down. And then I think Tam single-handedly saves the fucking day, because he just has been preparing his life for this moment. Right? That's kind of how I believe there's...
I think he
what do you think,
tried to just give him a normal upbringing.
It's feasible that Tam would also be versed in the the prophecies of the dragon in the Crathon cycle, because he did spend a lot of time as a Ileana companion. So he had access to a lot of books and education. He was very well read. So he's very knowledgeable of the world. He would potentially know the prophecies. I don't know that he would have, I think it's very providential that he was there, but I think that it is possible that he would have an understanding of the possibility and probability that child was potentially the dragon reborn.
Now, how about this? So, like, now this all brings back around my whole belief that these people do not have free will. Like Tam was
the discussion.
Well, we'll get into that, and we can actually maybe take another 10-minute break if you want. We can talk about how long we want to go on, but we can go into this. I would love to pick your brain about this, Leigh-a, because I do believe that there's this kind of whole notion of like everything leading up to everything, leading up to everything, leading up to everything makes me believe that this is a wildly like predetermined world, and that the only people who have free will are the Tavern, which is the exact opposite of what the common knowledge is, which is Tavern have no free will. And I believe Tavern are the only ones who have free will. And that's what's so unique about this world. So do you guys want to...
Noden, actually, Noden, did you have any thoughts about Tam, about any of what we were talking about? As far as, do you think that he had deeper knowledge than just being the father of some orphan?
I don't know.
Okay, no, it's okay.
It's okay.
Dee Tee, what does Dee Tee think?
I think he probably had some sort of inkling that it was possible. I don't know if he was like certain of it, but I think while it made sense for him just to teach the Flame in the Void just for archery and normal Two Rivers type reasons, same reasons
so
he
you
learned
think that's a coincidence?
No, I don't. I mean, he's not dumb. He must have thought, geez, I just found a baby on the slopes of Dragon Mount, and like the war ended that minute. Like he must have realized that's kind of, I think he had some inkling. I'm not sure if he knew for sure or not. But he wasn't surprised by it when it happened. He's like, "Yeah, okay, yep, that's what happened." Like,
do you think Perrin and Matt are taught the Flame in the Void?
I don't know. Yes. I think they know of it. I don't think they know it though. I don't think they've been educated.
So I don't think it's explicitly called that. And when there's not a lot of POVs where they're specifically shooting arrows, shooting bows, but that's basically the fighter technique that's gone in, and and Lana even says like it's well known that is a combat technique that is taught.
I don't know if they ever reference it though. I don't think they remember them.
Matt and parents specifically in their POVs do not reference it. It does not mean though that they were not taught it. They just don't actively like it's not the unreliable narrator that was shown.
Sorry, I take my break a little early. Sorry, guys.
Young man, do you need a breath mint? Why am I saying a breath mint? My fucking mind is
probably need
do you need a glass of water?
You want to make out with me? I'll put a breath mint in if you want to make out.
Here's a tic tac.
I'll fucking kiss him, Gray.
Once you go gray, there ain't no other fucking
All right, this is not Game of Thrones. We're not doing this incest stuff.
Wait.
Thronesing here, y'all.
What's that?
Was that Leigh-a?
We're not Games of Thronesing with all this incest stuff.
I
hear you.
He's your dad.
Just because I have a crown like this, it's so awesome.
Can we take another 10-minute break and then come back and talk about like fucking free will and will of time? I really want to get your guys' opinion about this.
Sure.
You ready?
Awesome. You guys are troopers. Okay. You guys all leveled up. You guys are all now, you leveled up. You get, you get more dexterity and more HP.
I thought they got more ambidexterity.
More ambidexterity. All right. All right, cool. RP. Let's do it. Yeah, let's.
All right, so 10-minute break. Let's all mute our mics, and then we'll be back shortly.
Music. You
L'amor i la guerra, la sal de la terra.
Wait, hey, hold on. What? The interplay between the bass and the piano. I'm tired of this. Yes.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's artistry and rhythm, the distinctive new designs of modern dance music. We hope you enjoy our musical offering.
The Space Age.
I'm ready when you are. Bring it in. Oh. Thank you guys for enjoying Homunculus Rex.
Their music is fabulous.
Fabulous. Thank you.
It's just so much fun, and sorry for the not so subtle volume change there. This meat sack is well, it's just a sack of meat, isn't he? So
Shame on Rob. Shame.
All right.
shame.
Did we lose a
Shame.
friend?
Yes, notably not Nodin has left. He had a prior commitment. That's me being polite. Actually, his brain just turned to mush. But he,
Okay.
he disappeared like a. How did he describe it? Siyas, and thanks for having me on Puff of Smoke. But
I hope he transmogrifies into a human being again.
hopefully so. But apparently that Puff of Smoke was classy and impressive.
Everyone, let's nod knowingly, shall we?
Yes.
I miss him already.
For Noden. For Noden.
Yes.
For Noden.
Pour one
Right.
for the homie. He
Posthumously.
turned his brain to mush. And that's hey guys, I kind of feel accomplished. Am I a bad person?
No.
We destroyed Odin. Noden.
And actually, Christini and I were having a great talk during. We called each other during the break.
Nice.
To continue the conversation because we weren't quite done yet. To talk about Tigraine and being her presence in the battle. So we don't find out a lot about Aiel fighting tactics. So it's very possible that she wasn't on the front line and that she wasn't necessarily like deep in the fight. So it's possible that she got caught up in a battle that got broken through by the enemy lines. We just don't have any reliable narration, obviously.
Okay.
Died. And the maidens who were with her were very tight-lipped about it and don't tell Rand a lot of information. And Rand is really where we get the only information about. Also,
and let's be honest, he's got less sense than a couple of bloody fools, hasn't he? So
yeah, and also Christine brought up a good point about the what were you saying, Christine, about the Tavern nature of Rand in the womb?
Yo, I thought about this.
That it's possible that Rand's Tavern nature actually pulled Tam towards Tigraine, and that Tigraine was compelled to go to Dragon Mountain in the first place because of the whole
In the womb. Oh wow. Okay. I
See,
thought of it after birth. Personally, I thought maybe there's let's talk about this. So Tam had to have left the Two Rivers a long time before Rand was even conceived for him to be available at the moment that he was conceived.
Well, actually, Amy, you were the one who said that it's possible that was why only Tam heard the baby crying.
Well, I was riffing off of what you said, was that how many hundreds of people possibly survived this battle, that if there was a Tavern nature, it was this caring, nurturing, loving person that did, Ryan, to your point, have a very safe harbor to raise this child where he would be completely away. I mean, the Queen of Andor doesn't even tax them anymore. So they're just completely isolated. So it's that very safe place for the Dragon Reborn to be brought up. So it had to be that, or potentially could be that Tavern nature ran from the start.
In regards to Tigraine specifically, though, look, we don't know how long she was actually away from the Threefold's land, correct? I mean, she wasn't 9 months pregnant when she left.
No. If I remember correctly, and again, I didn't do the research on this, that they all left at the beginning of the war. So those 4 clans all left at the beginning of the war. So she was potentially out of the Aiel Waste for about 3 or 4 years at that point. So
right. So she conceived out Claire. Yeah.
Yeah, so Delusions, it says the Aiel War was 3 years.
Thanks,
Okay, so she is already, so it's not like she left and was pregnant and they're like, no, stay here. And she's like, no.
Well, we could time it by Galad, right? His age difference to Rand.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, that would be
what that does is time about how far she had left, because she left basically right after he was born.
Right, so she left, did that Aiel War, and then Rand.
Well,
so however that age difference is. We don't know.
She left on horseback, and then in the Aiel Waste was on foot. Got found by the maidens. They didn't leave her to die. They actually took her in. They don't put a time to it, but she spent the time convincing them that she, a wetlander, should be a maiden.
Yeah, crazy.
All of the initiation. So there are several years there that she gets fully trained up, and then and falls in love with Rand's father. And I'm totally blanking on his name right now. So if chat could help me, I'm terrible. I'm not
Galad's father.
Daddy Rand.
Janduin.
So Leigh-a and everyone else. Like, so what you guys are talking about is like so many nuanced and specific decisions that had to happen that had to progress to the point where she was giving birth to this baby on Dragonmount. Is there, well, I mean, yeah, so does that mean that these people had free will?
Well, and that's a great question, because it is this, it's the ever circular question of free will versus chance. I think a lot of the stuff that the visions that Min has, where she says, I try to go and tell them to do something different, and they, regardless of them changing their path, it always happens.
It always happens. Yeah.
I have a question.
Question from the class.
Basically,
I have a question.
So you have like these parameters, and if it has parameters, you have free will. Sorry.
That's okay.
No, go, by all means. No, keep going.
No, that was all of it. That's all I have.
So if let's play a little mind game then. So let's say that Tam meets someone with Min's abilities. What does this Min character see a baby on Dragonmount? Does she see? Is Tam's thing completely predestined? Is pretty much what Ryan is asking. So let's say like a 10-year-old Tam is like, oh, I see you as a soldier. I see a heron mark blade. I see a baby in the snow.
I mean, is Min? Are we say specifically Min or someone?
No,
like
someone
Min?
with Min's power.
Well, Abigail in the chat had a really good point where she said that it's possible that Tam became Tavern just long enough to find Rand. There it is, to find Rand on Dragonmount, because that is something that's been floated around, right? Is that you don't necessarily have to only be Tavern or be not Tavern. That can be a little bit more fluid than it is,
You hit on one of my theories that there's way more Tavern than we know, and they are temporary at best at times. And I don't even think that Perrin is a Tavern right up front. I think he develops it a little bit later. I don't see very much Taverness in
covered by the influence of Rand, so his Tavern nature is hidden under the veil of Rand's Tavern nature.
Yeah, perhaps, but even with Egwin when he was fleeing there, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there is the Wolf Brother thing, which we can, but
I mean, he ran right into the one person that could train him. So
yes, he did.
Oh, right. Tavern.
This is the second person to point that out to you, Brother Dan, that he found Elias.
Well, not just Elias, but people that would take them in and accept these poor, like,
take a break, young Daniel,
battered people and feed them and nurture them for several days.
I had to take off my crown. I no longer earned my crown.
Daniel, try not to be too upset, young man. You are still learning on this journey, and even those that have read the books multiple times make mistakes. I am one for sometimes saying Arthur instead of Arthur, or I fuck up shit all the time from the books.
Great,
So,
you're the best. Can I have a kiss?
we love-
Give me a kiss right here.
Mwah. It's okay, boy.
Okay,
No, open mouth. Open mouth. I mean,
No.
give me a Valentine's Day kiss. Come on.
No. You've got a simple fatherly peck on the cheek, and that's it.
Pretend you're Tom Brady with your
A
kid.
small sign of affection.
So there is actually a character that was in these 2 chapters that could potentially disprove the fact that it's all predetermined and that there is free will.
Tell me.
Anyone want to take a guess?
Fane.
Fane. Ding, 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 ding.
But Fane is becomes more
agent.
and more. Yeah, he is a noted anomaly. He is as much an enemy of the Dark One at the end as he is of the light as well. He is
Well, and actually, Jordan actually did confirm that that the pattern did not intend Fane, who had been distilled by the Dark One, to ever meet Mordeth. So Mordeth would corrupt any regular human body. And so, but when Mordeth met Fane, he actually met the perfect vessel that would be able to hold and his essence. So like Matt almost dies, not because of Mordeth, but because of Mashadar, but the evil that was created by
from one thing.
Eridol. Yeah. So the fact that Fane of his own, like maybe not his own free will because he's doing what the Dark One wants, but he's able to go in, make those connections, and then extract himself. That there's not enough there. So there is a lot of predestination that happens in the books, but there is still some sort of level of free will that happens, and it's probably a little more nuanced.
It's very funny that you're using Fane as the example because Fane is the one who was compelled, had no free will, had to follow these boys. To where he looked like this ragged beggar because he didn't have a horse. He was running the whole time.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was definitely the. And it's just the irony that he's the one that does this and actually becomes potentially the replacement for the Dark One in A Memory of Light if Rand doesn't do what the Dark One wants him to do.
Moradin does not leave Eridol, right? Even though there is the corruption of Fane, he still exists. And Mashadar still exists, right?
So Mashadar does still exist, but Mordeth actually, and actually I did write down the notes. Hold on, let me find it in my notes. So Mordeth actually
notes.
I know
Mordeth and Mashadar are different creatures.
They are different creatures. They're very similar. So,
kind of like Brother Dan and I.
Yeah. A lot like that.
So,
which one are you, Brother Dan?
I'm gray. Well, I'm young
Are
gray.
you Mordeth or Mashadar?
You know what? I
Mashadar's
think
gray.
that I'm more death. Mashadar is just a fog that has no mind.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm Mashadar.
You're Mashadar. Yeah, you're ubiquitous. You are everywhere, my man.
Yep.
Yeah, so what it's not exactly the quote, like I didn't cut and paste the quote from what Jordan had put in the blog, but basically it said that Mordeth, while he was subsumed and by Mashadar, he wasn't part of Mashadar, he was a separate entity. Mordeth was always looking for a vessel to take him to the walls where then Mordeth would be able to take over that the meat sack vessel.
Right.
And then go out into the world and then attempt to do exactly what he did in Eridol and influence power. So that's one of Fane's reasons for going to Toman's Head, because he wants to go over and start to influence the Shan-Chan Empire. That's why he finds Patron Nile. That's why he finds Torim Riatan. Goes to Leigh-a. He's trying to influence that's constantly trying to influence these people until they really marry up together and become the creature that we find in Memory of Light. But
is he real quickly? Is he using a form of compulsion?
No.
You think he's just like savagely like acute and like using mental?
Compulsion is a very specific weave. So he does exert influence, as you see in just a couple chapters ago when he's in the being jailed, and all the jailers are starting to get angry and mean.
Yeah. And Egwin like brings Rand and like Perrin and almost,
and they feel that you could feel that evil as you get closer and closer and closer.
So,
like the enemy.
What is he using? What? So if it's not compulsion, what is it?
It's just it's one of the soft magic.
It's like there's psyops.
Yeah, so it's the soft magic system that exists within the Wheel of Time. So he has this really nasty aura that exists around him. If he was in D&D, I'm guessing like as he gained levels, his aura would get bigger and bigger. But
like charisma, you mean?
Yeah, like his charisma.
Dark charisma.
Yeah, I thought it was his own version of like the taint, and it just sort of like spread out from him and corrupted others. Yes. And in that process also made them more susceptible to him because it was his quote taint.
So when you say perfect vessel too, that's kind of implying like Fane was the only thing that could actually allow Mordeth to leave the city as himself, because otherwise he was trapped there, right?
So that's my
Fane
question.
is like a vessel,
so
and he can leave.
He no longer is in that city now?
No, correct. Mordeth it resides within Fane and exists outside of Shatter Logan. And and you got to think like there's not been a lot of people that have been able to do research, so there's definitely been theories that I've seen that go around that Mordeth had potentially left before, and then his soul, like once that vessel dies, gets sucked right back into Shatter Logan.
Whoa.
Wow.
But they always die too, probably like quickly. I imagine like he's seen them so bad they die.
So basically, like describing my
heavy. As Todd would say, that's very heavy stuff, man.
I'll get like 6 months clean and it's just like sucks me back in.
Super stoked.
I'm just here like, wow.
You killed Gray with that.
Are you like an academic surfer?
Sure, I'll take it.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about like this? The way that the Aes Sedai. So we have that Egwin gets trained by like 3 or 4 different Aes Sedai. Varen comes in first. We have Alana. We have Leandrin. I think later we have a few people. So why do you think this occurs? Do you think it is because that not one Aja gets a benefit in her mind, like recruiting wise, or do you think that they think that this is the way to train? Everyone has their own specialties, and if you just mash them all up together, you'll be a decent Aes Sedai. Did that make sense?
It does. I'm just trying not to usurp the entire conversation.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Dee Tee, it's up to you to answer in that case. I
want to hear you elaborate just a bit more, Dan.
Along their journey to go to the River Queen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right.
Yes,
the River Queen.
The River Queen.
I don't have that video queued up. I'm very sorry. That is in the first time reader show. Tavern Talk show. I'm very sorry.
I was hoping for the Caribbean Queen.
Yeah, I know it's not there. I do apologize.
That's all right. We have several Aes Sedai that come into their tent to give Egwin a training. So
4. I think,
correct. So why is this? Why wasn't it just Varen the whole time? Was she too busy on their freaking walk, or is this was it so that the Browns get a shot, the Reds get a shot, the Yellows get a shot?
Well, I think they're getting kind of treated like accepted at this point. So they're the only 2 non-Aes Sedai there. And also, they're both very powerful. This is such an anomaly. I think there's a lot of natural curiosity. And they were traveling with Marine. Like, there's a lot of mystery that's going on. So I think there's just and in the case of Leandrin, obviously there's a lot of malice based off of the Dark Friend social that comes in from her going, and she obviously Leandrin doesn't do shit with them. She just questions about the boys the entire time. But I think
motherfucker.
All yeah, right.
Well, is this something that the Almarellan assigns, or is it just anyone can come in and say, "I'm here to give you a lesson"? Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I don't think they even want to do it though. Like their Aes Sedai, it's like kind of a burden. They don't do that shit in the tower, I think. But there's only so many of them, so it's all like everybody take one turn because you kind of gotta. She's already started channeling, so we got to start teaching her. It's dangerous not to, right? That's what Varen explains to her. So that's why they have to do lessons with her, and Nynaeve may as well also take part. So I think they're just kind of divvying up that annoying chore in a way. I mean, they're all obviously interested in the girls. Like they're fucking powerful, and that's cool.
Yes,
and they all want to get their point in there too.
Yeah,
natural it would divide it up. It'd be weird not to. Why does Varen get to spend all four of them with her? It would just maybe combination of those.
Different archers will want to have powerful channelers in their group, so they'll all be like, I want to get in there and start to mold these women to look for, to be a yellow or a blue or a gray.
Pops for sure.
I mean, obviously they should all become gray, but that's just my personal flavor. So
it's neat they have two
Leandrin
blacks out of the four too. Teach them.
Leandrin
three.
is
right.
3 out of 4.
Isn't that crazy?
3 out of 4.
That's not 3 out of the 4.
Yeah, there's Varen, Alviarin is one, and Leandrin is one.
Yeah, you're right.
I forgot about Alviarin.
Moslani?
I think, or Anaya. I can't remember which one. I think it's Anaya.
Alviarin's there, but I don't think
Alviarin.
This sounds like we're like at a
yeah.
This sounds like we're at the Olympic gymnastics competition.
Yeah.
Now I'm just thinking they were like, "Fuck it, let's turn these bitches black,"
Yeah. It says Alviarin was
Although,
cool
sorry, I should not cuss like
they
that.
said Leandrin was just kind of like dismissive, like didn't even want to be there. So
Alana
she wasn't trying.
Well, Leandrin was asking a lot about the boys.
That's right.
Nynaeve was very
she
like,
saw them at the social.
why is she even interested?
And Rand specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's a very tall, strapping young man. So
and then she spoke about her dream.
So
much. And I was like,
thing
"You're
for
just horny. Don't worry about it."
Well, and Egwene's the one that goes up to Anaya and asks about. She kind of like hedges around it, and then Anaya's like, "You might be a dreamer."
She's like, "Oh shit, the Reds are gonna hate that."
Well, she kind of asks right out, like, "I'm having dreams. Is that weird?"
Yeah.
Like she does go right up to her and ask her about it, right?
Well, no, she asks about Rand, and she says, "I think Rand is in trouble."
Right.
And then,
How do you know?
Like, why? And then Gwen's like, "So you've been having these dreams?"
Shit, yoinks.
But right before it, she's like, "Oh, I hope she doesn't laugh at me." Which again, Ryan and I, well, I guess mostly I think that the Two Rivers really stunts the growth of its young people.
She actually tries to picture her in a Two Rivers scenario and goes, "Yeah, she kind of fits. I think I can trust her."
Exactly. Yeah, she seems like someone from home.
Well, yeah, she definitely compares her to like
Dee Tee.
her mother or Nynaeve. Like, if I were to talk to Nynaeve, this is exactly what I'd say, and that's not true.
And then she takes the breath. Okay, I dreamt it.
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, missing him already? I know he's handsome, right? He's pretty dreamy." Yeah. She's like, "No, I dreamed like with a big D.
He's in trouble.
Big D dream."
And what did she dream again? There was the woman looking over him. Like what is it? I bet.
So first they come across Osmond.
Yeah. She dreamt that Rand was motorboating.
First there's Balsamon. Balsamon greets her and is surprised to see her, and then he vanishes.
Balsamon's there multiple times in the dream. So it's all like a
dream.
So she said, I don't think they're in the Blight or back in Feldar. I had a dream. She said it half defiantly and sounded silly when she said it, but it had seemed real. And so she doesn't quote specifically what she said to Anaya, but it goes into a general description. So nightmare for true but real. First, there had been a man with a mask over his face, fire in place of eyes. Despite the mask, she had thought he was surprised to see her. His look had frightened her. So it's all about Balsamon. Then he suddenly vanished, and she saw Rand sleeping on the ground, wrapped in a cloak. A woman had been standing over him, looking down. Her face was in shadow, but her eyes seemed to shine like the moon, and Egwene had known she was evil.
Mm-hmm.
Then there,
the moon.
yeah,
Yep.
Big hint there. Yeah.
Then there was a flash of light, and they were both gone, both of them.
Poof.
Yeah, like what is that? Fucking portal stone. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
behind
right.
all of it, almost like another thing altogether, was the feeling of danger, as if a trap had was just beginning to snap shut on an unsuspecting lamb, a trap with many jaws.
Mhm.
And so time had slowed, and she could watch the iron jaws creep closer together. The dream had not faded with waking, the way dreams did. And the danger felt so strong, she still wanted to look over her shoulder. And somehow she knew that it was aimed at Rand, not her.
What? Leia, thank you, Leia.
That's a dream.
And then she instantly thinks, "Oh, was that Moraine that I saw? Oh, that's
Yeah,
probably in her."
Well, she wanted to find Moraine because she had some sort of trust with Moraine. So she was just like, I need to tell Moraine this. And then they're like, no, Moraine pieced out a couple of days ago.
Right. She went looking for Moraine, but they're like,
Give the old Irish goodbye.
Like a few days ago, too. Didn't even notice. She's been gone a few days. What?
She's aloof.
I think it's too funny in these chapters when I think Varen comes in and Egwene's first question is like, "Is this a summons to the Amerlin?" She's like, no, stupid, no."
Let me straighten my tie and smooth my skirts.
I'm like to meet the queen right now. No, you're getting a lesson, you weirdo.
Yeah, she's the queen, the empress. Like she's the Emerald's equivalent of an empress at this point. And so
You're correct. Yes.
Good, Gray. You like the Emerald?
Oh yes, I mean, she's like an empress. Who doesn't love an empress?
Do we have an Emerald seat available?
We don't. But
All right, so
raised from the gray, perhaps.
Okay.
So
sorry.
Before we took our break, I mentioned the concept of free will. I mentioned the amount of coincidences that would have occurred to, bring Tigraine to the point where she's giving birth on Dragonmount. B, bringing Tam to the point where he's finding the baby. Let's even go further. Loyal had to leave the steading 3 years earlier and then find the group 3 years later.
Great.
Ryan, a logistical thing for a moment. I believe one of our group, sadly, can no longer grace us with their presence.
Well, we just have to have you back on, Leia.
I fully agree with this analogy.
Absolutely.
Do you want to just wrap it up?
Sounds
good. You want to just say bye altogether?
Yeah, we could definitely put a pin in this and come back to because we could talk about this for hours, honestly.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed talking with you guys.
Let's have everyone back who's on the screen right now back on at a future date. Let's wrap
6 hours from now. We'll see it.
Right. Is there an after party in Discord this evening with perhaps some of it? Yes.
Yeah. We'll hop in our chat and we can talk.
Come join the Discord server. It's this new fancy thing I've discovered, and it's a lot of fun. You can talk to us, and the link is in the description to the show.
So, Gray, are you going to be there? Or is the meat sack going to be there?
Good question.
Do you want to be there, or shall I be there? We'll figure that out.
Maybe half. Take breaks.
We'll take breaks.
Alternate.
Yeah. I mean, sharing's caring. You say, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, everybody.
Guys, let me thank definitely not Odin for joining us earlier. Let me thank A Time to Float for his insight and segment. I loved it. Dee Tee, the Alex Trebek of our community, the game show host with the game show host.
I love that.
Yes.
I like that. He's Canadian too, actually. So.
Perfect.
No, he can still be a cool guy. It's fine.
Yeah.
Christine,
we won't hold that against him.
Christine, thank you so much for joining us. It's always fun to have new friends. Leigh-a, Thank you.
Leigh-a.
You are yeah, we could just I like this panel a lot. This has been fun.
It was a good group. Yeah.
Oh, it's fun to hear them go. You guys are so knowledgeable.
I'll
I
get better
really
songs
enjoyed Christini's psychological.
Oh, yeah.
Changing from the PTSD to the to what you're saying was like something I never thought of. Brilliant.
Thanks.
Wonderful.
Awesome. We have all the links to everyone's projects and whatnot in description, I assume, right, Ryan?
I believe so.
Awesome.
They're in there, yes, I've seen them.
Gray, you've been awesome. Thank you for joining us, my man.
Right?
I'm
Daddy-o.
so glad that I could just appear and say inappropriate shit because I'm an old man and I'm allowed to do that.
You
with impressively long arms.
I know.
Well, I don't want to brag too much, but
I know.
Greg, give your meat sack a hug for me. I appreciate him too. Yes, thank you very
he
much.
appreciates that. That was lovely.
Yeah.
He's too short. He says too short. We'll have to hug some more afterwards.
Well, yeah.
Platonic, obviously. He's too young.
All right. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys on Discord and we'll see you every Thursday and Sunday.